Hey folks, we're out here with another episode of Oxygen Not Included. So we got big plans here, but we'll get to that. So last episode we built this dust cap farm, and unfortunately we had the line of tiles down here that was obstructing us from getting to all this. So what we did is we dug under to grab it all, but of course that created another problem here, where now the CO2 that we have in here, it's staying in here for now, but eventually it's all going to replace this polluted oxygen down here, and the polluted oxygen is going to get pushed up, and then our dust caps aren't going to be growing. So we're on a bit of a clock to get some CO2 into here. There's a couple ways to do that, but the easiest one would be probably to come on up here and open up this natural gas geyser. So we can see, we've dug in here, and we can see that that is a nice little shade of brown. And we know from experience that if we dig around this way, it's not going to off-gas. So we're going to let them go up there while we talk about our future plans here, and hopefully they're not going to be installing any of this right now. But yeah, so we put our little starter power in here, and it didn't really... I was trying to explain what I was going to do here, and I went a little bit crazy, so let's talk about this. So we're going to have 4 natural gas generators and 2 petroleum generators in here, and this is going to be the power supply for our base, as well as for this industrial brick here. So we're going to have a cooling level here with dual aqua tuners for 2 cooling loops. This one will be for the oxygen and probably the base, and this one will probably be for the industrial brick itself. And then we're going to have a refinery level where we have some metal refineries here, as well as a couple of rock crushers and kilns, transit tube just to get in and out. This level here is going to be the polluted water level and the power. So we're going to have various power things in here, batteries and transformers to help us get our power to parts of the base. These 2 are going to do the base itself. This one's going to do the top, and this one will do the bottom half of the base. And our experience is about 4K power is good for the base. And the polluted water is going to come down here. It's going to hit this insulated tile once it's all sealed up and collect down here. We're going to pump that out into this water sieve, and it's going to power this Rodriguez branded electrolyzer setup. We use the same one that everybody else uses just because it's perfect. There's other ways to do electrolyzer setups, but I can't improve on this one. We're going to have a cooling chamber here coming down from the electrolyzer. It's going to come down and cool this off. So when the oxygen comes through, it'll loop through here, cool off before it goes into the base. So that's great. This little area here was kind of extra. We didn't really have anything to put in here, so we'll probably just use this to filter our water and do things like that. And then of course this is the power for the Rodriguez, and then this will be the extra tank for the gas that comes up. And this guy looks like he's going to come up here and start installing this. We don't actually want to put any of this in yet, but I think we've talked about everything that we're going to do here. It's all for later, so we're going to take that away. But it is good to plan ahead. We will note that our nature reserve has been installed here, so we've closed this up here. So now when the dupes come in, they got to come through the kitchen. They'll get the +6 morale bonus, grab their food, go and eat, and then they're going to come back out. Everything else is pretty much the same way it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to come on up here. Looks like a dupe has gone in here and started digging in. We'll speed this up. Remember how to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to cut out a little bit of this. We're going to install... You can see it wants to off-gas here. Now we don't have any steel. We do have gold amalgam. But gold amalgam isn't really good enough to be placed close to the natural gas geyser, so we're going to have to dig a little bit of this out to give the heat some time to disperse. So I think we'll just go all the way up here. And someone should be grabbing this. I just want to check here if we've got our... No, we don't have that. So consumable ore, bleach stone, priority 9. So they're going to grab all this bleach stone so it's not off-gassing too much chlorine. I don't really mind chlorine, but... Oh, you know, we are running a mod where we can... We'll get our skill this way. It's sort of cheating. It's a mod that we play. One of the nice little I don't like these things, these neutronium tables blocking up my map, so I do have a mod where I can deconstruct them. We don't really need the steel from here to build our gas pump. We could easily do it with gold and just stick it over in the corner, but we're running the mod, so we'll use it. I do highly recommend it. Not because you can, you know, cheat and get a little bit of early steel, but really because it just is a nice quality of life improvement. But it does give us some steel, so we'll do that. We'll put that in. We're going to run the pipe. Well, we won't run it quite down there yet. We'll run it down here. And then what are we going to do for power here? Boy, we got to go a ways with this power, huh? I think we'll actually put in a dedicated power transformer for this, because we know that this is all going to get upgraded to conductive wire relatively soon. Oops. What we don't want to do is have this overload, but we also don't want to waste that much conductive wire when we don't have that much yet. So we'll just run this all the way up here. Super temporary. And we'll plug that in. And we're also probably going to need a gas filter, at least initially, to get the gases that are up here out, because we're not going to be able just to completely suck everything out of here and create a vacuum because the geyser's active. So this will be for the natural gas. Hopefully this will be enough space for a gas vent to off-gas everything else. And then we'll put in a manual airlock right here. And we'll just put this all to priority 6. And hopefully the dupes, when we come back, we'll be done all this. Alright, the dupes are going into downtime, and I thought I saw... Yeah, it looks like we're already getting some issues in here with the wrong type of atmosphere. See, this one here is flashing on and off. So yeah, we're on a clock. We got to get these generators started so that we don't lose our food supply here. One other thing to note is we've cut into the caustic biome here. So this 44-degree heat is going to start trickling into our base. So we've started the clock a little bit. It's going to be a while, but eventually this is going to come in here and heat up these mushrooms. I don't know how many cycles it'll take, probably 20 or 30. And then the heat's going to also start creeping down here. So we want to start getting the installation done around our base. We've got a lot to do once you start that heat clock. So this is the last little bit we have to do here. Just hooking up the cycler. We can either pump this all out. I don't think we will pump this all out. I don't really see the point. This is mostly hydrogen and carbon dioxide. And actually, if you have a little bit of carbon dioxide in here, you actually might get to the point where the pressure, because the pressure at the bottom 2 tiles is what determines whether it overpressures. If you have a small amount of carbon dioxide in the bottom, and then you can get up to 20 kilograms of natural gas in the top if you have that lower level of carbon dioxide. But what we've done here is we've waited until this has gone idle. We want to make sure it's not overpressured, and we're actually just we want to get a dupe in here as soon as possible to clear this out. And what we want to do is we want to clear all this out before it starts off-gassing natural gas, because we don't want any of that natural gas leaking into our base. We've already got enough different colors of gas floating around. We don't need another one. So that's going to be finished. Marie's going to go through. We're going to shut off access here. We're going to turn off the loud siren. We don't have time to analyze this because at this point we're not going back in here until this goes dormant again. We're not going to know when that dormancy period is because we're not going to be able to analyze it, but we're going to use as much as possible in the meantime. So what we've done is we've hooked up a couple of just, jury-rigged gas reservoirs here. We might have to quickly throw in a few more just all over the place. I'm not sure where we're going to put the gas, but it's not going to be here. But these are ready to go. So we've got this hooked up. We've got our power mostly hooked up. Once these fire off, we can get rid of... Actually, I guess we're going to need conductive wire here. Not there, though. We can disconnect this, and then we can rip out these coal generators, or we can just use these. We might just put these to prio. Put to a low threshold of 10. And we'll set this one to a low threshold of 25, and that way these will fire up, and then these will only get started if we run out of natural gas. And we want to use the natural gas first, because the coal is right now, I mean, until we get hatches, coal is a resource that isn't renewable. And then let's get ready for the polluted water that's coming our way. I think we're fine, actually. I think we can probably just sweep up what comes through here. A small amount isn't going to hurt these generators too much. I guess what else we could do? We could probably just go put like a little pool down here with a couple deodorizers and just let it catch down here. All right. So that's going to fire up. We'll let that run for a little bit. And then we'll go back up to the biome, which we haven't really talked about. Actually, we might as well just talk about this now. So this is the, I guess it's called the tide biome. And it's not as hostile as the swamp biome because it doesn't have the germs. And the gas that's in here is carbon dioxide. It's got a little bit of chlorine and hydrogen. The hydrogen, the nice thing about it is it goes to the top, and the chlorine goes to the bottom, whereas the polluted oxygen will intermix in your base if you allow it in and become a bit of a problem. So you're gonna have little pockets of polluted oxygen all over the place. You're gonna have to put electrolyzers all over, and what we really want is just a nice clean base. We've got a little bit of polluted oxygen here, a little bit over here, but for the most part it's a pretty clean base. If this polluted oxygen got into our base, we would have to put electrolyzers all over the place. It's just a pain in the ass to deal with. But hydrogen will float to the top, and the chlorine will eventually float to the bottom with the carbon dioxide. So we don't mind opening up. We don't have to put in a airlock or anything like that. And we can just come in here and start clearing this all out. So let's see. Now, the tide biome has one really nice feature in this. Every once in a while you get these fossils, and the fossils can be ground up to get lime. And lime is what's used to make steel. So really important to have a source of steel that isn't just eggshells, which run up pretty quickly. These fossils, I don't really know. I can't really tell you how much steel this little bit will make, but it's certainly enough to power us through the early game. So if you get one nice little pocket of fossils, that'll power you through to pretty much until you get into the oil biome, where you're going to find fossil all over the place. Who's suffocating? You're suffocating. Let's get you out of there. Oh, don't dig more. Oh, you're gonna die right now. Alright, get out of there. Alright, let's put a ladder in. Probably just need a ladder right here, right? Because they can walk down to the bottom here, so that'll do it. We're using sandstone, which isn't the best, so let's actually change that. Ghostman, you're gonna die. Can you get out of there? Go get some oxygen. Okay. So we lost a dupe there. I feel like he was being a little silly there. We're actually going to pause this, and we're going to change all this to sedimentary rock, which we should have done before. There we go. And we'll let the dupes dig all this, and then we'll talk about what we found. Alright, so the dupes have done a really good job of hacking this all out, and let's take a look at what we picked up out of here. So, there isn't actually any metal in these biomes, but you do get a few interesting things. One's waterweed. We've got 22 waterweed seeds, which is more than enough for a lettuce farm. And the nice thing about lettuce is lettuce plus duck's cap gets you lettuce wraps. So once we get, well, I might as well put that in there now. Once we get our gas range here, and since we've got gas and we've got mushrooms, we can grow some lettuce. All of a sudden we're on mid-game food. So that's great. So that'll probably be our first thing that we want to take a look at. Obviously we found a piece of steel, but that's kind of cheat mode. We also got this salt water. Not much of it, but it's enough to feed some lettuce plants for a little while. So this will tide us over until we find a better source of salt water. And we don't really see a source of salt water on the map, but I'm sure there's probably another biome somewhere. So we'll be on a quest to find more salt water. I don't even know if there might be a way to make salt water. I don't know enough about that, but if we get to the point where we run out of salt water, maybe we'll have to look that up on the internet and see if some other YouTuber has figured that one out, because I have not. But that's basically what we came in here for. So we got a little more sedimentary rock, which is important because we're going to feed that to our hatches. We have 178 tons of it, so I guess we didn't probably need any more. We got the waterweed seeds, and we got the salt water. We also got bleach stone, which is important because we use the bleach stone to feed those plants. So I think what we're going to do is I think this is going to be the top of our base here. I think we're going to go 3 high and 3 low. So I think what we're going to do is install a farm here. This power transformer is going to have to get moved, but yeah, when we come back, we'll probably have that roughed in. Alright, and there we have it. So what we've done is we've moved the power transformer up a little bit to get out of our way, and we're going to install a lettuce farm here. So I'm going to raise this tile here, we're going to layer the salt water in, we're going to have a storage bin in the middle here to distribute the bleach stone, and then we'll have 2 auto sweepers installed to make sure that at least this part of the system be automated, and then we'll also have when we get enough refined metal, we'll install an autoloader in here. In fact, we'll probably, if we're that low on refined metal, probably don't put this in yet. But yeah, so that we can automate this facility. So we've also run a pipe up here. This is probably enough to fill one of these liquid reservoirs. I just spent a couple minutes trying to figure out why the power wasn't working, and of course we had our power transformer backwards. So we'll sort that out, and then we're almost done this pipe. Alright, well, Nails here is going to finish off this liquid pump after he takes a breath here, and then we've completed our farm section here. So we'll just plant these waterweed seeds. Why don't you plant? Alright, put that in. We'll put the bleach stone in here as soon as we get a little bit of water on the ground. Yeah, it looks like we're pumping. We're kind of hoping to get the metal refiner without having to refine more copper and gold, but we're going to have to do that now. And you're about to see why we really like these pliers. Gives you pretty good control over stopping the water flow. And that'll be enough to get the consumable ore in here. We'll get the bleach stone, we'll set it prio 9. And then this one cannot have bleach stone. Alright, so that's all planted here. Have to get rid of this deodorizer, and then we'll be ready to go. Alright, and there you have it. So we installed some automation here, which will have the additional effect of sweeping this this section for us. Run this down, I'll drop it into the kitchen. We'll change this to a unloader so we can load up these 2 fridges after we finish sweeping this out. But we've got this waterweed in, we've got the farm station. We installed a light here to make the use of the farm station a little swifter. And yeah, that's the waterweed farm. So now we've got that. We've got the gas range. It's got gas, making the guys mushroom wraps. And I think next we're going to start tackling a couple more problems that we've got. First of all, the fact that this is too low here. So we're going to have to get rid of all this polluted water before we start insulating the outside of our base, because we don't have room to move up there. We need to do something about this temporary polluted water storage. We need to do something about the fact that we've already filled up our gas reservoirs, and we need to keep an eye on this here natural gas geyser, because at some point it's going to go dormant. So I think what we're going to do next, we started out a little bit of a liquid lock right here. I think we're going to go into this biome here. We're going to come up and we're going to hack all this out. It doesn't look like a very big biome, so we'll probably be able to do most of it, but it's got quite a bit of water in here, and this will probably be our slime biome 2.0, where we talk about how we get our initial refinement set up, and then we really want to find out what's inside this one. So that'll be this episode, guys. Hope you guys learned something or enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.